Hey, Nick Tarasio here with Derek Sean from Ehang, and you've probably seen Ehang everywhere. You guys have been making a lot of noise in the media lately.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, where did this come from and how come you guys are standing out from everybody else?
Well, I think the initial idea was firstly being introduced back in CES, actually a year and a half ago, back in January of 2016 in Las Vegas. We were probably the first company who's very serious about this flying car or sharing taxi idea. After us, like the Uber, Mercedes, Airbus, Boeing, they all somehow, wants to be part of this, whole future vision here. So I guess, we're not only the first one to kind of introduce this quadcopter, with like a self-driving quadcopter idea powered by electricity, but also like we were the company who has done, spent the longest time making this. We have actually achieved over 1,000 times of takeoff, and including like maybe more than 50 times of test flights with a passenger actually sitting in there.
What's the biggest challenge to getting this to move forward at this point? What's slowing you down, if anything?
Right. So we feel like we're more or less like technically ready. So what is kind of like stopping us to moving forward is definitely, I think how can we make it into a real product, right? How can we make sure the quality control of each part are standing out in high quality? I think that's one thing. The other one is definitely regulation, because this is something that's completely new.
How much of a challenge is whether people are emotionally ready for this?
Right.
Because is there a lot of, it's awesome, right? Like everybody wants to go in it, but when it really comes down to it, are people still not ready emotionally for something?
Exactly.
Like that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely normal. That's something. It's like when iPhone was first introduced, like people are not used to those touch screens, right? People are more used to those physical buttons. So I think we can definitely start with some different areas like the emergency exit, or we can start with areas like the organ delivery. This is a partnership.
So cargo only, you're saying, to first kind of prove the concept?
Not completely. You can let's say there's an earthquake or there's like emergency rescue, like mission, right? So you need to transport some passenger or you need to transport some people, but but you can't find a pilot, or the helicopter is too big, to fly in, or the fixed wing aircraft is, there's no runway. It's possible, right? So I think this kind of situations, that's gonna definitely make things easier for aircraft like this easier to get in, get out, in order to function.
Amazing. Yeah. So as all these other entrants come into the market, again, we've talked to Airbus, we've talked to all these other companies that are saying we know that this is the future and we're trying to enter that space. How do you guys differentiate from that? How do you keep yourself up front while all these other people now are starting to pump so much money into this development?
Well, I think at this area, we still feel like competition is seriously not a priority. It's more about collaboration, communication, or just focus on your products, because people are still concerned with the safety, or people are concerned with the product itself. There's nothing much about commercial side of things you need to think about, right? It's more about how you can actually improve this product and how you can make it like a better aircraft.
Now, was it your idea? Was it an idea of all your co-founders, or
right.
Where did it come from?
There are 3 co-founders in the company. So one of the founders actually had this idea from very long time ago. And actually before Ehang was established to make drones, actually 10 years ago, Ehang was a company to make the command control center for the Beijing city during Olympic Games back in 2008.
Oh wow, it's a different business.
Exactly, it's a different business, but the idea is pretty simple. Even today, is that when we talk about flying cars, or when you talk about air taxis, right, or it's just getting too crowded, and we feel like you can't just build another smaller version of the fixed wing aircraft, because you still need a runway, right? And helicopters, there are small ones, but you always need a pilot. So the timing was just right. It's the aircraft plus the command control center, which monitor the aircraft, which command and control the aircraft, so that there's gonna be a passenger sitting in there, and he can just do nothing. He can just play with the phone, listen to music, and do absolutely nothing.
Now here's the thing, I love flying, I flew myself here,
right.
But I also love doing nothing.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited about the idea of these showing up in New York. And what year do you think that's gonna happen? When is this thing gonna show up in New York?
This is pretty much the thing. It's ready. It's like what I said, it's technically ready. It's just like, we're gonna do more and more public demo. lately this year, maybe starting from next year around the world. So people actually see it, see it how it flies. So I think that's where people are gonna feel like, oh, this is something that's really coming true. It's still gonna take some time, like what I said, like the mass production plus the regulation. I think we're working really hard on it.
Cool. Well, I can't wait personally because it's going to change my commute back and forth to work. And I thank you for all the effort you're putting in, and thank you for the time speaking with us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks to Aviation Week for working with us on this content. Please do go check out aviationweek.com/Oshkosh for all the updates and highlights that are going to be coming out all week long. So far, we've got a bunch of great interviews, and we've got some really good stuff lined up later in the week. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Our channel is Take Off with Nick, and thanks again for watching.